Right, okay, so here's part 2 of replacing gaskets. So at the end of part 1, we'd removed everything here and all the bolts there, which I've done here. Now, next thing you need to do to be able to split the hub is to loosen off your sprocket. And to true Blue Peter fashion, I've already done this, so I'm just going to spin that off. And hey presto, it comes apart. Now, the only things that may fall off, this has got no gasket on at the minute, that may fall off are these 9 pins. Now, these transfer force from the internal to the external and sit into these recesses. If you do drop one of these, I always put a little bit of grease on just to keep them, a little bit of grease on there, and as you put the hub back together, they'll stay in place. Now, depending on how long your gasket has been on the hub, you may have to clean up this surface a little bit. So I use a pick to get into the corner if there's any dirt there. If any of the gaskets stuck to this, then just be careful with a razor blade and lift it all up. But generally, they're not too much of a problem. Then you get your gasket, doesn't matter which way round it goes. Again, I like to use a little bit of, just a dab of grease, just to keep the gasket in place as we put it all back together. Just makes it a bit easier, smear that around a bit. I'm going to pop our gasket on. Obviously these are available in 32 and 36 hole options, so make sure you have the right one before you start the job. So you press that all down, that's going to stick to the grease nicely. Now, this is the only slightly awkward part. On the hub shell, we're going to reference where the drain plug is, and as we slide it onto the hub, that is going to line up approximately where my finger, well, let's point with a pick, is a little bit, approximately here. On this particular hub, there's a recess there, as you probably won't have that recess. This is the very latest model. So I'm now going to line this up with that recess. You won't get it first time. There we go, that's in. Drop that on. Now to lock it all together, screw that on. And then you can screw your 8 screws in. Then, I'm not going to do that for now on this particular one. Then you have to put in your springs. Now, these go in these two, these are all the threaded holes for the axle plate screws. Springs go here and here. So they go on. You then need to get...
Put any grease with those springs or no?
They're normally slightly greasy anyway. You don't want to lose them because they will go underneath the fridge, or if you, whatever you do, don't do it on a gravel driveway because you'll never find them. Then we're going to put the gaskets on our axle ring here. So that one there, and again, a bit of grease. There's already a bit of grease on this. Will help keep that in place. Right, now then, we have to make sure the hub for these is in 8th gear. So 14th, let's put it back on. Right, so the hub at the moment is in 14th. All the way clockwise is first. That's 14th. We need the hub in 8th. So 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Now you're going to pop that one on. We've got to line up these 2 pins, sit against those springs. And these cables in 8th gear are going to be roughly level. You'll need to tweak it around to get the hex on the easy set through. Now we can put the shorter bolt in. There we go. Where's my tool gone? And then once that's on, good thing at this point is to check you've got all 14 gears. So we're in 8th at the minute. So you pull to one extreme, you should have 13 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Okay, then basically all that you need to do is put your axle plate back on in the correct position. For this particular setup, it's there. Again, you want to be using new bolts every time you replace this. These are held in place by the factory Loctite on there. Do those up to 4 Newton meters, and that's it, you're done.